Ashiburu, Ashibo Oshishe, Obeato Boribunfun, long life and prosperity. This is Aworomila Fungando Farma, Shango Oro Pagayu. Once again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time in your busy lives to listen to the advice of the IFA, what is stating for the planet Earth for the year 2020. Keep in mind, as I repeat once again, this is based on the Yoruba Cultural Association of Cuba and advice that has been practiced for the past 100 years by Obarame Deshina. And as you know, the planet has different grids, and there's the Odu that resonates with different parts of the world, right? And the fact that there are 7.8 billion people on the planet Earth, right? So in this video, what I want to actually stress and is basically this is going to be a fusion of the latest findings of astrology, because a lot of people are into that, and also what IFA has to say about that in the Orishas. Okay, keep in mind these 3 months: April, June, and November. All right, so the planet Saturn is going to be influencing our lives. We're going to be tested. In the Ifa culture tradition, Saturn will be translated as Olodumare, the divine source. For Christian, Father God, right? And for other religions, as you know, whatever the divine source represents to you in your life. Ifa is going to basically ask you, Saturn in this time, are you actually genuinely happy with how your life is going right now? Right? And if the response is yes, then in those 3 different months, you'll be tested. If it's in relationships, there could be temptations coming in to see and test whether or not you're happy in your relationship. If it's with dealing with employment, there's going to be other opportunities stating that it will be a little bit better off. You'll be better off, you see? Whether it's in housing or wherever you live at, or business ventures and opportunities. Okay. Now, these tests are going to be very severe. It's going to be very, very difficult. But if you have endurance, patience, and steadfastness, then that's what you have. However, if the response is nay, hence you tell Olofin Olodumare, Saturn, the Father God, I'm not happy with how my life is going right now. Then in those 3 different months, opportunities will come in your life, in a positive sense, right? Those 3 doors will open. So keep in mind of those 3 months before they manifest. So I'm giving you guys a heads up right now so you guys are in tune with that. Also, this is a year of spiritual inner transformation. This is a time where we actually need to work on ourselves spiritually. This is the influence of Capricorn as well, and it's also related with what Ifa stated. Interestingly enough, it's a lot about spiritual development. Keep in mind also, in the first video I mentioned to be watchful of eating contaminated pigs and stuff like that, right? That's the literal interpretation of what Ifa is stating and recommending. Now, let's cross-reference other traditions and cultures. In ancient Kemet, Wester, who represented, righteousness, or, the light, right? And then Set, his brother, which represented the other side of the polarity, right? Darkness, negativity. At one point, unfortunately, murdered his own brother, right? He set him up. For those who want to study the holy drama and the knowledge of that in the Egyptian culture. So when that happened, when that took place, Osiris's son Horus, or Heru, wanted to avenge his father's death and fought his uncle. At one point, his uncle had a transformative process. He became an actual hog or pig. So it's not literally a hog or pig. It represents character, a lower vibration character, territorial and fighting. So what this represents is that, in retrospect, Osiris, Set, Wester, right? Heru, Horus, it represents ourselves in actuality. So whatever so-called hog mentality or habits we have, we need to work on ourselves and evolve and elevate to a horse or our third eye, right? Heru. All right. Not to move away from this, because remember, keep in mind in the last few videos, actually video 2, I believe, I mentioned Oromila. Oromila is the one that saves, where it presents supreme wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the essence of the universe, of the seen and unseen worlds. And this is who we contact to have the information to guide our lives. Hence, each person has an advice to be followed this year. This is why I stress for people who are interested in the divination reading, they can simply get a divination for guidance. But now, let's go back with the general advice. This talks about a lot about Jemaya, the oceans. So this is the maternal energy that's going to be very empowering today. This year, feminine energy will be at a great rise. Feminine energy represents both genders, the male gender and the female gender. Intuition, compassion, fraternity, friendship. This is a time of forgiveness, forgiving our enemies, and finding a way to those bridges we burnt in the past, try to restructure them again. This is a time of renewal and healing, in general. This also talks about the clash of polarities, just like the story I mentioned in a household. If someone has been submissive or oppressed in a household, there's going to be a sense of rebellion coming from that person, whether it's a male or female, right? Because there's it's not only the stereotypical male who has his dominating, in a home. It can even be a male who has the role of the feminine role, right, and has been dominated, this and that. So in both parties, male and female, there's going to be, who has been submissive, been oppressed, there's going to be a rebellion coming from them, and this represents in the global scale. Also, with the ocean, there's going to be a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of parts of the world, where the water will rise and affect a lot of lands. And this is already, unfortunately, taking place in Puerto Rico, as you see. So, blessing, prayers for them, and we hope support. And also, it talks about representing the ecosystem, the cleanliness of the ecosystem, to make sure that we work hard on cleaning the waters and the oceans for Yemaya. In general, this is basically a time of renewal and understanding. This is where authorities who have been in power, have been abusing, will be exposed. Also, unseen enemies or unseen problems will be shed to light, because this says in conclusion, whatever is false in the world, IFA will expose it. So this is a time of truth. So Ashe Boru, Ashe Bo Sheshe, or Beato Bonfon, Life and Prosperity. Thank you for watching.